What happens when a team that's struggling to find its footing makes a bold decision to shift its offensive strategy? This week, the Raiders took a daring step, transforming their run game against the Browns in a way that completely eclipsed their previous season total for rushing yards. As they broke away from their predictable plays, the Raiders today showcased an innovative approach by involving their receivers in the run game, leading to both electrifying touchdowns and newfound confidence. Join me as we dive into the key moments of this game-changing performance, examining how this shift impacted the Raiders' momentum and strategy. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more Raiders news. As a devoted fan of the Raiders, I found myself anxiously awaiting the team's matchup against the Browns, wondering how they would respond after struggling in their first 3 games. Averaging a mere 51 rushing yards per game, the Raiders' offense had become alarmingly predictable, often stalling on their attempts to gain ground. The question loomed: could they turn things around and ignite their season? What transpired on the field was nothing short of remarkable. With a clever tactical shift, the Raiders dared to break free from their conservative game plan. The coaching staff finally realized that traditional running plays up the middle were not yielding the results they desperately needed. Instead, they opted to get creative, integrating their receivers into the run game, and the results were striking. This newfound approach led to a pivotal moment in the game, as the Raiders today put on a display of athleticism and teamwork that revitalized both their offense and their spirit. The atmosphere was electric as they surged ahead, eclipsing their previous rushing totals and putting on a show for the fans. Let's explore the key moments that defined this impressive victory and how it might shape the future of the Raiders. In the weeks leading up to the Browns game, the Raiders had established a concerning trend. Their offensive strategy relied heavily on repetitive plays that seemed to lead nowhere. Every time they attempted to advance the ball, it felt as if they were just running into a brick wall. Frustration mounted not only for the players, but also for the fans who had hoped for a more dynamic display. As the game against the Browns approached, it became clear that something had to change. Coaches were evaluating the situation, dissecting each play, and considering new options to keep defenses guessing. The stakes were high. If they continued on their current path, the season could spiral out of control. Fans held their breath, hoping for a glimmer of hope. Finally, that glimmer came in the form of a bold decision to change up the approach to their run game. The coaching staff recognized that they could no longer afford to be predictable. They needed to spice things up and fast. The first quarter began with palpable tension. Fans watched eagerly as the Raiders lined up for their first drive, uncertain of what to expect. Would they revert to their old ways, or could they genuinely implement a fresh strategy? The answer came quickly when the Raiders decided to give the ball to their receivers, a move that had fans on the edge of their seats. This new tactic turned heads and opened eyes. On a sweep play, Brock Bowers showcased his agility and determination, racking up an impressive 12 yards and reigniting the Raiders' offense. It was as if a switch had been flipped. As the drive progressed, Tyreek McAllister and Trey Tucker each contributed, culminating in a 3-yard touchdown that sent the crowd into a frenzy. Trey Tucker's confidence shone through as he described the moment. "You call it in the huddle, and in my head, it's a touchdown because no one's running me down," he remarked, illustrating the belief that permeated the team as they embraced their new strategy. With the first touchdown under their belts, the Raiders entered a new phase of the game. Their confidence surged, evident in the way they approached each subsequent drive. Rather than relying on a singular strategy, they began to capitalize on the versatility of their players, allowing receivers to take the spotlight alongside traditional runners. The next drive illustrated this perfectly as Tucker caught a quick pass in the right flat, converting it into a 9-yard gain. This play set the stage for Alexander Madison, who broke free for a whopping 24-yard run, marking the longest of the season. His success was made possible by a well-executed pull block from Jackson Powers Johnson, a new starter eager to make his mark. "Definitely a domino effect," Powers Johnson stated, capturing the essence of teamwork that transformed the game. Each successful play built upon the last, boosting the players' morale and encouraging them to push harder. By halftime, the Raiders had accumulated an impressive 95 rushing yards, nearly doubling their average from the previous games. The switch to include receivers in the run game had proven to be more than a simple tactic. It had become a source of inspiration. Madison's perspective on the game's evolution was insightful. It keeps the defense on their toes and keeps them thinking, he explained. With each successful play, the defense struggled to anticipate the next move, creating a favorable environment for the Raiders to exploit. The Raiders had broken free from their predictable style, now embracing the unknown. The shift not only revitalized their offense, but also injected fresh energy into their defense, creating a balanced attack that left the Browns scrambling. As the third quarter rolled in, the intensity of the game reached a fever pitch. The Raiders capitalized on their newfound momentum, and Madison broke another significant run, this time for 16 yards. The crowd roared, electrified by the display of athleticism and strategy. But the momentum didn't stop there. Following this powerful run, the Raiders once again handed the ball off to DJ Turner on a sweep. Thanks to the relentless blocking from his teammates, particularly from Bowers and Tucker, Turner cruised into the end zone for yet another touchdown, increasing their lead to 20-10. Tucker, who had made crucial blocks, could only smile as he recounted the moment. "I just hear the crowd go crazy. I'm like, what happened? DJ's in the end zone, and I'm out of bounds blocking," he exclaimed, underscoring the unselfish teamwork that characterized the Raiders' performance that day. By the fourth quarter, the Raiders found themselves in a comfortable position, leading the Browns by a solid margin. The coaching staff had orchestrated a performance that not only surpassed their rushing totals for the entire season, but also created an atmosphere of confidence that resonated with the players. As they moved deeper into the final quarter, every player on the field seemed to share an unspoken bond, a synergy that propelled them forward. The confidence gained from successful plays turned the atmosphere electric, igniting a determination that was palpable among the players and fans alike. The Browns, caught off guard by the Raiders' new strategy, struggled to keep pace. Every successful play reinforced the effectiveness of the game plan, creating an environment where mistakes from the opposing team became opportunities for the Raiders. After the final whistle blew, it was clear that the Raiders had achieved something special that day. Not only had they surpassed their rushing total for the entire season in a single game, but they had also revitalized their identity as a team capable of adaptability and innovation. As players reflected on their performance, they spoke of the importance of believing in each other and the process. "Sometimes you look at a pitcher who practices his curveball," Powers Johnson mentioned, highlighting the importance of practice and persistence. This victory was more than just a number on the scoreboard. It was a statement. The Raiders had not only demonstrated their potential, but had also rekindled hope in their fan base, showcasing the kind of creativity that could define their season moving forward. In the aftermath of this thrilling victory, the Raiders emerged with invaluable lessons. The decision to involve receivers in the run game not only paid off on the field, but also established a framework for future strategies. The players realized that flexibility and creativity are key to breaking down defenses and maximizing their offensive capabilities. Moreover, the importance of collaboration and trust among teammates became evident. Each player understood their role in executing the game plan, and that teamwork was essential for success. The bonds forged during this game would undoubtedly impact their performance in the coming weeks. Looking ahead, it's clear that the Raiders will continue to build on this newfound approach, eager to further refine their strategy and exploit the weaknesses of their opponents. The victory against the Browns was not just a win. It was a turning point. As news of the Raiders' transformative performance spread, fans reacted with enthusiasm and optimism. Social media buzzed with excitement as supporters celebrated the creative shift in strategy, praising the coaching staff and players for their impressive adaptation. Many fans took to platforms like Twitter and Instagram to express their joy, sharing highlights from the game and discussing the potential for future matchups. The energy surrounding the team was palpable, reigniting the passion of the fan base that had longed for a breakthrough. With each shared post, the sense of community among Raiders fans deepened. The win against the Browns became a rallying point, a symbol of resilience and determination that fans could rally around as they cheered on their team in the weeks to come. As the Raiders moved forward in the season, They carry with them the lessons learned from this decisive victory. The bold shift in their run game approach has the potential to reshape their entire season, setting a precedent for how they tackle future opponents. The upcoming games will test their resolve and adaptability. Will they continue to innovate, or will they fall back into predictable patterns? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. The Raiders have awakened a sense of hope among their fans, who are eager to see how far this newfound momentum can take them. As we reflect on this pivotal game, I encourage you to join the conversation. Share your thoughts in the comments below about the Raiders' strategy and what you think the future holds. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest Raiders news and updates as we continue to follow this exciting season together.